Well, I appreciate both of you guys for taking the time out for this. P, I was just telling Rico before you got on here, like, both of you guys are easily two of the most passionate people in the industry. Like, you guys just genuinely love music, love R&B music, and that's why we had to get you guys on here because it's like you guys are brothers. You guys have created so much great music together, and it only made sense.
Oh, that's love. That's love. This like
Yeah.
what the second interview we ever did together, probably.
Man, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So that's a good one. So you got to ask
Yeah.
some real good questions. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I want to get to the beginning. Like, Pete, paint the picture for me, because I was just telling Rico about the work that he did on your first album, but paint the picture for us of how this all began. Like, you were in Pretty Ricky, you
So
went,
I'm making my transition into being a solo artist, right?
yeah,
Not really knowing, like they didn't care. Like, well, I'm not gonna say they didn't care, but they didn't really know what I was gonna do. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And it was a lot of people that was like, "Oh, the guy from Pretty Ricky, I don't want to work. I don't want to work." And then obviously Static was always there. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But then I was at Jim Johnson's studio called South Beat, and then he brought in Rico, and then the second, I mean, me and Rico, I never worked with an artist like Rico before because he just writes so fast. Like Static, the way Static he writes and it's a process. But when I say this man do a song in 20 minutes, he does a
yeah.
song in 20 minutes tops. And I'm capable of doing that nowadays, learning from him. You know what I'm saying? I can actually
Mm,
write a song in 15 minutes now. But
wow.
yeah, it was just like a process. So I was going through a lot at the time, and it was this song called Free Falling, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
That was the first song me and Rico ever did together, and we just connected. We bonded on that record right there, and the rest was just like, yo, you on this project, man. You know what I'm saying? And he just came with so many other songs. I believe the same day we did the song called Make You Say.
Yep.
I'm gonna make you say,
Mm,
oh,
Yeah.
oh, oh. You know what I'm saying? And then from there on, it's just like another song, another song, another song, and we just got so many songs done so fast. Like Say Yes, like there's a lot of songs that didn't make the introduction of Marcus Cooper that should have made
yeah.
it, but
Mhm.
that's the introduction of
But
how
hey,
that.
I mean, Rico, paint the picture for us of where you were at in your career when you started working with Pleasure. Had Sweet Dreams come out yet? I don't think
no,
that was
no,
out.
no. This is the beginning. This was
Yeah.
what this was. I think I had Throwback. I had All Because You by Marcus Houston, and I had Love Like This by Natasha Bedingfield.
Tasha
Mm,
Bedingfield, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
so I think I was coming off of that huge hit, and of course, the Omarion stuff, all that. But
Yeah.
it was like I was the new guy though.
Yeah.
Industry, that's how the industry works. When you're moving through the industry, there's buzz about you as a writer, as producers. Everybody is like, "Yo, you got in what we could love yet?" That's where I was in my career. Like the buzz was starting to be created, but this increased the buzz because he moved around. And you got to understand, when you got a champion, he was my champion. We have a
Yeah.
champion. You got a guy. Me, I'm introverted. I don't hang around a lot of people. He'll tell you, I don't like going around industry people. I don't surround myself with them. So he would go to all these events and go to the parties and go to the and throw. He would throw amazing parties in LA and have events, and everybody he would talk to, he would say, "Rico love, Rico love, Rico love, Rico love." So without even knowing he was doing it, he was spreading my name around in some really important circles, so that
Yeah.
when people would hear my name later, they would be like, "Man, I just heard about Rico. I don't know where I just was hearing. I heard some songs you did." He would just go play him all the songs that we were doing, and that's how my name was in a lot of places because, like I said, I'm really kind of introverted when it comes to being around people in the business. P's like that now, but he used to wasn't like that. He wasn't like that.
Facts. This game will do that to you.
Oh yeah.
So, P, when you started working with Rico, what made you think that, hey, this could work? 'Cause you were working with
because
Static. You
because he,
got so many
because he
people.
because he was a genuine dude. You know what I'm saying? And he had this. Rico a street dude too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He can articulate himself, a certain kind of way, but don't let it fool you. You know what I'm saying? So we just kind of connected on that level. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it was just a vibe since then. You know what I'm saying?
It was a time we was at a club and the DJ. I used to always be the guy that stopped me from going crazy. And we went to a club once, and this guy in the DJ booth was just disrespectful. So he run to the DJ booth, and I'm trying to stop him from fighting the dude. But then the dude said something super disrespectful.
And the Rico in the
So I just hooked off him. It was crazy because I'm usually the guy trying to calm him down, but then the guy said something like so out of line. I just laid into him. So we would have those type of crazy nights where we would be like, you know, it's normally me being big brother and trying to calm him down, but every once in a while, I had to get
it's growth. But during that time, I was going through so much stuff. Like, you know, somebody just took millions of dollars from me. You know, I just left a group, and I pretty much left with nothing. So I was just in a bad place at the time, but a good place, but not knowing. You know what I'm saying? At that age and that time. So yeah.
When they wrote Lollipop during one of our sessions, you know, him and Static wrote Lollipop in one of our sessions, and that's just how magical the energy was. When I first met, he introduced me to Static, and I was like, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of goopied out. Couldn't believe I was with him, but Static was kind of acting funny to me at first. And I remember him kind of like really like egging me a little bit, and I was like, damn, you know. And then he warmed up. Like by the end of the night, we was drinking that Turkish. What we was drinking?
The wild turkey, Turkish
wild
way.
Turkish way. We was taking shots of that and having a good time. But he kind of helped me meet one of my you know idols that I looked up to for my whole life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, but let me tell you something, Rick. When you wasn't around, I used to be like, man, Rico record fast because you know Static didn't use no auto tune. He didn't use not a bit. It was just you got to do this shit over and over and over for hours, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, well, Rico record. If I record a song in 30 minutes with Rico and Rico, and he was like, damn, you know. And Static, one nigga, if he can't come up with something, he got like 20 songs in the vault. Like basically, when he meet with you, he already got a hit for you, but he gonna try to come up with whatever he can come up with. And he felt the pressure that day, and that's how I got If You Were My Girl, because he had to go to the vault and give me something because Rico we were just knocking our records so fast, man. And then he died in the middle of the project. That's why there was not too many more, you know, of the songs on the album. But
yeah.
We thought it was a dream. I thought it was a dream. I remember he had just shot the video with Wayne. Lollipop, and it was just like, you know, he had to tuck the suit on, and it was just a vibe in Vegas. They shot the video, and hear that news. He was out of it for a while. He was really out of it. You know what I mean? That's big brother, mentor. Like if it be totally honest, and I don't think I'm out of line for saying this. He gave him his sound. You know what I mean? That's his sound. You know what I mean? So it was like have somebody who kind of grandfathered you in the business die like that. That's got to be difficult, you know.
No, I hear you. Rico, talk about those early beginnings, like when you started working with Pleasure on that album. Like, what was your vision? Like, he comes from Pretty Ricky. He's got sort of that Keith Sweat vocal tone to him. Like, what was your mindset when you like? What were you thinking about giving Pleasure P at that time?
I always felt like he's an icon. His tone is iconic, right? But when you think about 5 in the morning, like that's iconic. Like these are like Find on Me. That's an iconic record. I know a lot of times people don't understand when you say that. They'll be like, "What you mean? That's iconic." You got to understand that certain things mark history. Certain records and sounds and energies mark history. Whether you want to accept that from this particular vessel or not, you have to understand that this is going to remind you of an entire era. When they were doing tours, they was outdoing. They was outdoing B2K on the stage. I'm not making this up. Like they was outdoing these guys. They were stealing the show from a lot of these guys performing. The women came out and wanted to see them. The young girls who were discovering themselves and figuring out who they were sexually. And I know this might sound crazy, but they were trying to figure out who they were. And Pretty Ricky was awakening something in these young girls that they didn't really understand. And I'm serious. It's funny, but it's like they were really figuring out who they were based upon this group. But who was the voice of the group? You know what I mean? So to understand that responsibility that I had was to make sure that we tell this story the right way. And one thing about P is he understands who he is as an artist. Because when he wrote Did You Wrong, when Static wrote Did You Wrong, I didn't get it at first. And he
Yeah.
was saying, I just felt like Boyfriend Number Two is a straight hit. And he said, I got to serve my people first. He
Yeah.
understood I got to give my people what they need first. Because, you know, P, I always kept telling people, you smarter than that. Like, show them how smart you are. Like, so when I
Yeah.
heard Did You Wrong, you did me wrong. I took you back. You took me back. I did you wrong, girl. You did me wrong. I take you back. I'm like, that's not, like, I'm thinking we got these highbrow lyrical songs. And he said, no, I got to serve my public first. They
Yeah.
got to really know I'm coming. So when that shit went number one, I was like, he understands who he is. And it
Right.
made Boyfriend Number Two that much bigger. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it was like, you gave us what we know you for. Now you're giving us the introduction, Marcus Cooper. So that was like a perfect segue.
Yeah.
So what I learned in that situation is understanding identity. Like, understanding who you are is a valuable trait. You have to know who you are. When you know who you are as an artist, half the battle is done.
Yeah. And P, the thing I love about Boyfriend Number Two is like there's nobody else that can do that record but you.
No,
Like
nobody.
nobody can do that.
Right. Right. Man, let me tell you something. Rico gave me a whole nother style too, though. You know what I'm saying? Like when me and him get on records together, it's a whole nother energy, a whole nother style. So it's like Jay-Z. I got like 5 styles now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I go into my falsetto, that's a whole nother style. I got
Yeah.
a few different styles, man. Thanks to some great people, and Rico is one of them.
I remember when I first heard Under, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Oh yeah.
When I talk about highbrow, that's highbrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's genius level writing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I'm up on the talking to a dressing up and like the idea behind the concept was just so genius to me. So
Yeah.
that record was full of those. It was full of those moments that made people feel something, and I think that's the key is understanding who you are, and also understanding where to grow and what's the next thing for you, and keeping in line with who you are. Because if you think about it, there was sexual records on that album, but they weren't raunchy. Like
Yeah.
They were double meaning records.
yeah, they were
Yeah.
intelligent, they were articulate.
Intelligent,
So
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
so I think that was the transition. That was when people were like, okay. And if you think about it, he did 36,000 the first week, but they shipped what 45,000.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know that. They'll look at the numbers and say, and by the way, everybody would understand what ship means. This is back before streaming. So
Yeah.
shipping means they send out, they put an order in. Kmart, Target, Best Buy, they put an order in for how many sales that they want, how many records they want. So they ordered 45K of the introduction of Marcus Cooper. So when he did 36,000, we was bummed out. Like, damn, man, we feel like we should have had a stronger first week. But he
Yeah.
only shipped 45K.
Yep.
He sold more over 90% of what he shipped. It's just that I don't understand. Like politics get involved, and we don't want to dwell on that. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, I think it was a timeless body of work.
Yeah.
I feel like it was an incredible launching pad for my career. And I feel like it's something that nobody can take away from us, our history. You know what I mean? People can do whatever they want to do with the present, and they could try to dictate the future. But one thing they could never do is take away the history. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And to me, that's going to be iconic, and that's going to live on forever. And it's going to be what when we old and great, it's going to be one of the most sampled, most chopped, most flipped projects. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Watch what I tell you.
Hey, Rick, at least I broke even. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One thing I did, I ain't lose nobody no money. I broke even.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, what's
We know why
crazy?
we didn't go to the next one, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, P, I'm telling you, like, I don't really understand what Atlantic was doing because if you look at some of those records on YouTube, like Encore, you look at the views for that, it's at like millions of views.
Yeah.
So people know about those records, but if you don't ship them out, they can't buy them.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but legacy is something that nobody can, they can't play with that.
They
The
can't
man
take
come outside. The man come outside and is busy 3-4 days a week still. That's
Right.
difficult. You understand? Like it's hard to be working 3-4 days a week in this game. You know what I mean? There's a lot of guys who can't say, "Yo, I can go outside and go get me some money." in 4 times a week, any part of the world. Or if I want to go camp out in Australia, I can go camp out in Australia and go get me a bag. You know what I mean? If I want to go to London, I can go get me a bag. If I want to go to Asia, I can get me a bag. That's a legacy. That's being able to provide for yourself and your family in a way that, you know, we ain't never seen Pleasure P out here looking crazy. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I got to take my hat off to that level of longevity. You got to respect that, bro.
Yeah.
For sure.
Guys, take me to the creation of Boyfriend Number Two and the concept before. Who came up with that concept?
That was all Rico.
Yeah, I came up with the so basically, and it's crazy because Boyfriend Number Two and They Don't Know, right?
Yep.
It's a consistent theme that I felt like wasn't tapped on. So even though They Don't Know was years later, I always understood that the other person, the other lover, Nina Simone had a song called The Other Woman. And I
Yep.
was always, I thought it was genius. Whitney Houston had a song called Saving All My Love for You. And it was about her being the other woman. And Boyfriend Number Two was to take on it from the male perspective and saying, when the first one don't know what to do, I'm gonna be boyfriend number two, which is a tough reality because now we live in the city girls era where that's so common now. With girls having a dude on the side is not even shocking no more. It used to be a thing like, oh, she cheating on her dude. Now it's like, of course she is. You know what I mean? But boyfriend number two was like the idea of that guy being the guy who provides this fantasy and this dream and this love and everything that she feels like she's missing with number one. Number two will give her that. So I just always thought it was a clever idea. And I was so glad. I love Mike Herring, but I was so glad that we got it off before Mike Herring got to do surgery on it. Because normally Mike will take the record and he'll dissect it up and say, well, I want this part to come again. I want this thing to happen 3 more times. So I was happy that we was able to get in there. Because towards the end of the project, that's when Craig was showing up to the studio. Remember that? In the beginning, nobody was around. You have to understand. In the beginning, nobody flew down. It was Damon Edith.
It wasn't no Damon. Yeah, it was only Damon.
Yeah, but in the beginning, nobody was interested in the record. They were just like, whatever. Towards the end of this record, Craig Coleman was in the studio with us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The CEO, the president, he was in the actual studio saying, nah, let's do this, and let's try this, and let's redo this. I was like, whoa.
Bobby, what up?
We spent a lot of time with nobody around, and then it changed. The story changed. You know, that's how it happened, bro.
That's how it goes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
P, let me ask you this. So the introduction of Marcus Cooper comes out, you find success with it, and at the same time with Rico Love, you see his career go from here, and it just explodes with hits, Sweet Dreams, Motivation, the list goes on and on. Like, just from your perspective as someone that saw Rico's talent early on, like, how proud of him were you just watching that growth and that elevation?
Oh, I'm the biggest cheerleader. Even when it come to his solo album, just anything he got going on, like I'm always supportive of my brother. Like that's really my brother. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you know, the more wins, it's like a win for me too. You know what I'm saying? Because the higher up he get, the higher up I get. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, it's crazy because we all I talk. If anybody who's around me, they know I talk about Usher a lot. You know what I mean? I love Usher. Like it's different. Like that's my brother. So it was a situation. It was a time where me and Usher weren't speaking. It was before Raymond versus Raymond, and I didn't realize it, but I still do it to this day. But I talk about Usher like probably every day. That's like that's somebody I have a high level of love and respect and admiration for. Like I'm really like that's my brother. So Pete called me once. He was like, yo, I was in the club. I pulled Usher to the side and said, man, Rico love you, man. You got to get in the studio with Rico. You know what I mean? And he was giving him a lecture. He called me up. I told Usher, man, like, that's your brother, man. A lot of people you got around you ain't really for you. Rico was your brother. Like, you know what I mean? And it's crazy because after that, that's when I did There Goes My Baby and
Wow.
to the Night and Daddy's Home and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So it was like, you know, so he kind of was one of those things. I knew inevitably it would happen. We would reconnect, but having people like that who really support you and go to bat for you, no matter what. And anytime Pete called me and say, "Let's get in the stew," we in the stew, no matter what. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things. You got to have people around you who really genuinely care about you outside of this business, because this business is funny. Like, I went
Yep.
through some crazy financial times, and I knew that I had to keep it a secret. I'm gonna tell you why. Because this business will throw you away if they think that you're in a bad position. They won't
Yep.
even. It's crazy how this game is. So to have people around you who's saying, when you up, I got you. When you down, it was times when me and P would go play ball every day, and we'll be talking about, yo, bro, people saying they about to try to come get my car. Oh, these people saying they gonna do this. Well, if you need something, call me. All right, bro. If you need something, call me. You know what I mean? And
Facts.
it was a blessing to see us both make it through those times, because our friendship lasted through it. A lot of people, when they don't see you on the radio every day, they kind of get, you know what I mean? But
Yep.
some people, they watch you go through. And that's the thing about going through. I mean, you ain't staying in it. You're going through it. When you get to the other side of that, you look back and you see who was with you consistently. And I can honestly say, man, my brother, like, real for real, like in the trenches, like for real. Then that's different.
Likewise.
In this game, that's different. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah. No, because like it's the loyalty that I really love. Is like Rico, at one point you exploded, you became the super producer, solo artist as well. But I know you're doing this because you're working with like on music. Stuff never came out, but you're constantly in the studio with him. Like how much of that is just pure loyalty, but how much of that is just
No,
believing?
no, no, no. Wait.
Yep.
Not only that, he never gave any of my records away.
Never.
Exactly.
Not
Yep.
once.
Still.
Not once.
Yep. Yeah.
And you know what? He is so particular that he should have been put out a lot of these songs. He just really.
I'm about to.
I was
Though.
gonna
I'm
get
about
into
to.
that
It's
too.
coming. It's coming. You know, it's about the right time and it's the right. It's about the right politics. You know, people don't understand that when I come out, I'm not trying to take no L, bro. You know what I'm saying? Consistency is gonna win. So if I come out with, if I got 5 albums recorded and I start dropping them, and I got Rico Love on them, I got, you know, certain people on them, and it's like I ain't gotta look for my next hit because I already got it. I'm gonna win that way. Like, it's just a different strategy. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. Now look, I got the Millennium Tour. So look, I'm dropping a single next week. You know what I'm saying? By the time that be on tour, you're gonna hear that you're gonna hear that single everywhere. And then going forth after that, I go back on tour with Keith Sweat in February. So I drop another album after that. You know, everything I'm just gonna keep going. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's smart.
And then I have my radio show on V103 here in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? In the late night. So y'all get ready for that too. So everything I'm doing is just it's a part of the plan, baby.
You know what's crazy too is because AC radio is a lot different now.
Yeah.
So AC can be a conduit to transition into mainstream progressive radio, right? And formerly known as urban radio. But I think AC is where we live now. I'm 38 years old. You know what I mean? So I don't look at AC the way I used to look at it when I was young. I look at AC as like people who went to school with me listening to AC. I hear Trey Songz, I hear Chris Brown, I hear Usher, I hear Beyonce, I hear. So when I was a kid, it was Joe Levert, it was Johnny Gill, it was New Edition Records. So you feel like, oh, that's AC. No. AC is a conduit, because if a record does well enough on AC, it could transition into progressive mainstream. And that's really a dope look. So I think that we should understand. By the way, albums sell from AC radio. Tours sell from AC radio.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Ask Lettucey, ask Layla Hathaway, ask Major. You know, these guys exist on these platforms, and they're able to feed their family in a major way using adult contemporary radio. So it's all about being strategic and understand where you are in this particular stage of your career. Think about Usher's last 3 records was #1 at AC.
Yep. It solidified his fan base once again. So there's a place for him.
Yeah.
And there's a place for people.
I'm not trying to make music for people that ain't for me. Like, people be like, oh man, you need to make a record that sounds like Little Baby, or they try to tell me that I should sing like Rod Wave. I'm like, no, I'm gonna sing like Slushy T. Why the fuck would I ever do that? So I'm only gonna fuck with the people that fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the bottom line. So once you get comfortable with that as an artist and knowing yourself as an artist, what can stop? Nothing can stop you. Then I got OGs who know who they are, like the Keith Sweats and the Bobby Browns and the certain people who know who they are, and they are successful. And at the end of the day, there's always going to be somebody that got more than you. So there's a nigga with the $40 million mansion. That's a nigga with the $2 million mansion. Either way it go, that's your kingdom. and as long as you're happy, that's all that really matters. You know what I'm saying? At
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day,
Yep.
as long as you
Yeah.
got people that's real, as long as you smiling every day, as long as you got genuine love, that's really all that matters. Everything else is just, you know, we done had it all, we still got it. It ain't, you know what I mean? It ain't talking about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Rico, sometimes I end up on Pleasure P's Instagram Live, and he's playing unreleased record stuff that you guys did together, and I can't even put into words how bad I want that stuff to come out.
Oh,
But
it's lit. It's
I
lit.
love Pleasure P about it like every 3 months. But Rico, do you have those conversations with Pleasure? Like, you got to put this stuff out.
I don't. I should though.
Yeah,
I don't. But you know,
Nah,
he does.
listen, we ain't wasting no records. Like,
Yeah.
listen, money
yeah,
gonna be spent. Money gonna be spent. It's a business at the end of the day.
yeah,
And you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not putting nothing out unless I'm able to pay for it and make sure you get the best look that it should get. Otherwise, what was the point of doing it? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
yeah.
We ain't wasting no records. That's why I treat my friends' records like that. I ain't never leaked no Rico records or nothing like. I ain't never leaked nobody records or nothing like that.
Yeah.
I keep it a buck, man. And they keep it a buck with me too.
That's a
Yeah.
fact.
Rico, talk about some of that work that you did on that Pretty Ricky album that still isn't out yet, but I know there's some amazing stuff
Yeah.
that happened.
We got so much stuff. You know, we got a record that I'm gonna do on Mia that I did originally with Pretty Ricky, and also it's a song on the EP. I'm just gonna tell y'all now, it's a song on the EP called Lips on the birthday sex tape that's gonna feature Pleasure P and Pretty Ricky on the
Mm,
when we release it as a single. Incredible. I don't even
wow.
think he knew that. I don't even think he knew that until now.
Easy work. You know, that's an easy call. I'm in the studio every day, man.
Yeah.
You know, we need to drop that Sex After Dark record that we did, man.
Yeah.
We need to better drop that, man. Come on, we got too many
Yeah.
records.
Yeah. Yeah,
Too
man.
many.
Yeah. I mean, Pete, talk about some of those other records that you've done with Rico that haven't come out yet. Like, I heard one record. It was called, like, Spending All My Money on You, I think it was called.
That's
Oh,
called
yeah.
spinning.
That song is crazy.
Yeah.
Spinning is one. We got a
Toast to
record
that.
called Deep. We got Toast to
Oh,
That.
deep.
It's just so many records, man.
Yeah.
Sex
Yeah.
After Dark. We got
Toast to that though. Toast to that is different.
oh yeah, it's different. I
Yeah.
can't wait to drop that, man. I'm like, we can't waste that. I can't, you know,
Yeah.
I gotta drop that
And
right
it's
away.
so crazy because it's timeless. Those records are 10 years old, man. They just
And
every
they
time you
still
hear
feel
them,
good.
they still feel
Wow.
right. They still feel good.
That's the real test to see if
Yeah.
some shit sound the same, because I listen to some people's stuff and I be like, well, it was hot then, but when I listen to it now, it don't give me that same feeling. So when I
Hmm.
do hear these records, it's awesome on the hotline type,
Mm-hmm.
boyfriend number 2 type. You know what I'm saying? Just classic type of vibe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this, and I'll ask you first, Rico. What's your favorite record that you and Pleasure P did together? And also, what's your favorite Pleasure P record, period?
Okay. My favorite Pleasure P record without me is a tie between If You Were My Girl and Under,
Mm.
because Fire Loving All Night, that line. You know what I mean? Like, if you was my girl, one position at a time. I think that should have been a single on that album.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my favorite record that we did together, I'm gonna have to say, what's the record that we did? Lay You Down? Is it Lay You Down? Bing, boom, bing. Let me just.
Let me just
Yeah.
turn you on.
Yeah, yeah. That joint, that was different. So those two. If You Were My Girl, it was between Under and If You Were My Girl. So it's tough.
Hey, listen, don't sleep now. You know what I'm saying? When Rico dropped his album now, I literally just hit him maybe like a day or
A couple
two
days
ago.
ago,
Like, man, I listen to that album all the time, man. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Wow.
That Do It For The Kids. I
Pay
mean,
for
he
the
got
kids. Yeah,
so many records on there, man.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's special.
Yeah.
They Don't Know, the birthday record.
Oh, the birthday record is crazy.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah.
All of them records, man.
Amsterdam as well.
Oh wow.
Oh, I love
That's a crazy
Amsterdam.
one. Yep. What about you, P? What's your favorite record you guys have done together, and one that Rico wrote or produced, outside of the stuff that you guys have done?
So my favorite record we wrote together is Say Yes.
That's a good one.
Saying,
That's a good one.
yeah. That because it just had a little bit of both of me and him in it. And then my favorite record that he did is it'll have to be Your Love So Good Deserves an Encore. Because I never sang like that before. Like just the way I came on that record is like that was a whole different style for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
You gotta say Dom Perignon. I'm like, I ain't even drink Dom Perignon at the time. You know what I'm saying? But because Rico put around Usher, he put me onto Moscato before motherfuckers was drinking Moscato. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. I swear to God. Moscato wasn't that popular. When girls would come to the studio, they were, what's this? I'm like, shit, this Moscato. You know what I mean? He put me onto that kind of stuff. So yeah, that particular record, man.
That's amazing. And we got to talk about this because, like I mentioned earlier, you guys are two of the most passionate people about music, about R&B. And what I love about you guys is both of you guys acknowledge the greats, the legends. You're always constantly reminding people to give the legends their flowers. I mean, P, you were talking about it on the Versus battle. I think we need to start talking about this more. Like, this is true.
I'm gonna tell you something. So
Yeah.
what I did see in the Versus battle was like people like trying to be judgmental, like, oh, they sound drunk, they drunk, or if they ain't drunk, who gives a fuck? Let them boys enjoy they verses. You get drunk, you human. Or they was like, oh man, maybe we need to do a versus with just hits only. And I was like, yo, if it's an album cut that they like to play, whatever it is, let them boys do their thing and let them get their shit off. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very passionate when it comes to R&B. I'm very passionate when it comes to my friends and family. You know what I'm saying? So we watch every other genre, and you know they not half as good as R&B singers. You know what I'm saying? They not, but you know what? We still watch it and support them and champion. And we not in the comments hating. I don't see no R&B artists in the comments hating on what the next person doing. But it's because we sing R&B. They feel like they can do that, not understanding. I'm a different kind of R&B nigga. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna get that off on me. You feel me?
Right.
But they do it because they understand the R&B guys ain't gonna say nothing. So I'm gonna say something. And if you know, of course, people gonna try to play me, but they can never play me. You know what I'm saying? You can never play P ever in your life. You feel me? No matter how hard you try, I done been through the worst thing you can say about somebody. You can't. After coming from that, I'm gonna be the bully now. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is, bro.
Yeah. And I mean, same thing with you, Rico. Like, you're one of those producers. You don't care if they're young or old. You're going to work with them. Like, I remember when you did it with Carl Thomas 2 years back, and I'm like, man, like, Rico actually cares about the job because it's not just about major artists working with independent acts and veterans. Like, that's important, man.
And I believe in iconic talent, right? So if you still got it and you're still amazing, and I
Yeah.
believe it's just a market for you, which I do believe is a market for these artists, then I'm gonna do it. Like I just finished Deborah Cox's album. We're mixing it right now.
Yeah.
It's amazing, like amazing,
Yeah.
exceptional. So it's about being able to be a part of a project that means something to me. It's more important to be a part of that because at the end of the day, I write at such a high clip. You know what I mean? Like I'm really sharpening my tool. I'm a better songwriter today than I ever was. I really believe that in my heart. So I
Yeah.
think that the only way to continue to be consistent and good is by putting up shots. So the more songs you write, the better you are. I don't believe in that whole running out of gas thing when it comes to. I believe that
Right.
it's about what's inspiring you. If you're still looking at the same things that inspire you now that you look to in 2007, then you doing it wrong. Fully inspire
Yeah.
you, and that's the key.
Yeah. And P, the thing about you and Rico is not only do you guys celebrate the vets, but you guys also,
His sleep.
you guys give back to the youth. Like, I know you work with Jock Priest. You're always cool with Jacob Lattimore. Like, what's that? Why is that important to you? But P, just
I
working
mean,
with
it's
these
just
guys.
about respecting people that do music. Period.
Yeah.
It shouldn't matter whether you're 90 years old or whether you 5 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If we love music, we love music, and we should all support and believe in each other. I'm a big believer in R&B people sticking together because they put each person against each other. Like he the king of R&B, so everybody supposed to be mad at him. Man, support that man. You know we all supposed to be getting money together, touring together, writing with each other together, all of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just a big believer in all of that. You know, I I don't hate on nobody unless they come hate on me. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I just believe it's strength in numbers, and I always tell Rico this: it's strength in numbers, man. And you
Yeah.
know, we ain't got a lot of strength in R&B because I don't know people. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah, but the culture is transcending just the actual R&B genre per se. You listen to
Yeah.
every rap record right now. If it don't have an R&B melody or progression or
Yeah.
hook, it's not even working at radio. So at the
Nope.
end of the day, it's the same thing. It's just served in a different dish.
Yeah. And Rico, talk about, I know you work a lot with new artists now. Like, I think there's an importance to that. I heard Troy Taylor say the same thing. You might not like everything that's out right now, but it's your responsibility to kind of get yourself and interject yourself into this generation and provide them with the guidance, provide them with the wisdom, and hopefully they learn something from it.
Yeah, think about this. Barry Gordy started off as a songwriter and producer,
Yeah.
right? And he wrote a lot of hit records and did well. And then he started Motown. So you have to understand that what I'm doing in this point in my career, I'm younger now than Barry Gordy was.
Yeah.
I mean, so at the end of the day, I'm younger now in the beginning than Barry Gordy was when he started Motown and was putting out artists. So I understand, like, this is the next portion of your career is to get with the new act, develop the new act, break the new acts, and build the legacy in a different way. I sold
Yeah.
150 million albums as a songwriter. If I'd have sold 25 million just as an executive, think about the conversation we'd be having right now. Okay,
Yeah.
the night is young, and I believe in my ability. I believe in my ear. I believe in my ability to say what I don't. And that's the key, is being able to understand that you don't know everything. You don't have all the answers, but you got to surround yourself with people who can help inform and who can tell you what's what and inform you on what's missing. And that's the key. So that for me, as far as working with new acts, that's my life right now. That's all I want to
Yeah.
do. Every day, if you look on my page, you don't see me a lot on my page. You see Mia, you see Ariel, you see
Yeah.
Fast Cash, you see Rubina, you see Felly. You know what I mean? You about to see Ayana Lee. It's so much that's going on that we're gonna keep this serious. Like we gotta really look towards that legacy so that we can have something that we own that could
Yeah.
forever feed our children.
Yeah. And you talked about all these great new acts. I'm going to ask you guys both this: if I were to put you guys in a studio right now, and I told you guys to make an album, what would that album sound like, P?
Like magic, like a vibe, like chemistry. Because we're gonna figure out the vibe. We're gonna figure out. Okay, we're gonna have that conversation of what to talk about or what we had in life, and we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna figure out how to make it a good time. Because
I,
we have a good time. It don't feel like work when we working.
never, because P be drunk halfway through, so it don't never feel like it. No, but I think I would want to make what's going on, right? And when I say that, I don't mean just because of the theme conceptually. I'm talking
Yeah.
about sonically. It felt like a jazzy blues record. But it was about the times. It was about the struggle. It was about what's going on in the world. So if we were to you got to think about mother, that's the many of you crying. That was a vibe. If you could
Yeah.
change the words, it could have been a sexual song, right?
Yeah.
So I think that I would make a record that feels good and feels smooth and iconic, but has a message that'll talk about the times. And I don't feel like we have any records in the R&B genre that talk about the times in a way that's successful. I mean, people may do it, but not many have them that's successful, with the exception of her and Tiara Thomas with the one they just won Song of the Year for.
Yeah.
Congratulations to them on that. But I think it needs to be more of that.
Yeah. I agree. So I'm going to ask you guys this as well. We're almost out of time, but I'm going to ask you first, P. What does Rico Love mean for Pleasure P's career?
Everything.
Hmm.
That's just one word. Everything.
Everything.
Yeah,
What about you? What about you, Rico? What
I
does
think
Pleasure P?
Pleasure P represents confidence, right? And one thing about it is I have believe it or not, I have terrible social anxiety. So
Mm.
being around P, he always poured into me. He always encouraged me. He always let me know, like, well, what you doing? Like, you need to pop out. Where you at? You need to pull
Yeah.
up. You need to do this. You need to be here. You need to. So it was like a reminder, like, bro, you that nigga. Like, you need to know that. And so the confidence that he was able to give me at the beginning
Yep.
of my rise, not necessarily beginning my career, but the beginning of my rise, when I really started to be associated as Rico Love outside of just being next to Usher. That
Yep.
was a really incredible transition, but it wouldn't have been able to happen the way it happened without the encouragement and the confidence building that he gave me.
Wow. That's amazing stuff. So we're out of time here. I'm gonna ask you guys this though, like what's coming up for you? Like P, I know you mentioned the Millennium Tour is on its way. You're gonna be touring with Pete Sweat soon. Hopefully the albums. I'm gonna hold you to that.
New single coming out next week called Yet featuring Soraya.
Okay.
Look out for that.
And
It's gonna be everywhere.
we got
Right.
the Mia got the birthday sex tape out right now. I'm
Yep.
working on a project on Ariel right now. I got the Fast Cash Boys coming out of Memphis. I got Ayana Lee about to drop a record on the 16th called Flood the World. I got Felly. I'm getting ready to comp and finish her records right now. Rubina's coming down here from Vancouver. She's gonna be locked in with me from the 18th to the 24th. It's nonstop with the new acts developing. New records on Mia. I talked to Sylvia Rome 2 days ago. She said I need another Mia EP before the end of the year. So it's nonstop music and nonstop keep putting out good shit, man.
That's crazy. I'm actually in Vancouver as well, so you gotta send me that artist. I gotta
Oh,
check them out.
absolutely. I'll sing you
Yeah,
Rubina. She's incredible. She's amazing.
yeah, I gotta check that out. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave this with one last question for you guys. Just talk about the importance of just loyalty and friendship in this industry, because you guys have sustained a friendship for over 10 years now. You guys have classic hits together, great songs.
It don't got nothing to do. It don't got nothing to do with this industry. This industry don't love you.
It don't love you.
So my relationship with Pete got nothing to do with the industry, because when we started working on this record, the industry wasn't even concerned with it. You know what I mean? With the exception of Damon Eden, nobody in the labels would even give a fuck. You know what I mean? So you got to understand that the industry ain't nothing that I'm not friendly with the industry in any way.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the same way if a person work at the post office, do they give a fuck about the post office? No. It's
Right.
just, so I treat it for what it is, but the people I meet in it, I don't expect anything from them, right?
Right.
So in this business, my relationship with Pete and my relationship with certain people in the business who I love, who happen to be in the same business, has nothing to do with the industry. I don't need anybody in the industry to do anything for me but accept what they say they're going to do. Other than that, it's cool. I don't expect anything different from you than what you're going to do. You're going to look out for yourself first. And if it's something left on the table, you might throw me something and make me feel like you did me a favor. But at the end of the day, I don't expect kindness and love and graciousness and consistency from anybody in this business, because they're in the business. And I don't look at them as bad people because of that. But there are some people that I have relationships with outside of the business. I watched P raise his son. You know what I mean? Like, he watched me with my children. He know that's different. You know what I mean? So that got to do with the business. Business is nothing. Don't worry about the business. Don't worry about that's my brother. You know what I
mean? That's amazing stuff. So I want everyone just to go support these two. Again, two of the most talented, most genuine, most passionate people. And I appreciate you guys both taking the time to talk about your history, your brotherhood, and just keep it going, man. We want to hear the music.
Oh, it's time. It's time.
So I think it's time too. You guys keep it up and just keep doing it, and just keep us posted too.